Folks, I've been inside the league for over 2 decades, scouting, analyzing, and tracking every move from college fields to Sunday primetime. I've seen the most shocking trades, the most audacious signings, and the deepest conspiracy whispers. But I promise you this, what's unfolding right now as we speak is unprecedented. Something so monumental that it could reshape the entire NFL landscape for the next decade. An absolutely earth-shattering move is on the horizon, and I'm about to reveal the secret behind it, a revelation that most NFL insiders are afraid to even whisper in the dark. This isn't speculation anymore. This is happening in real time, and trust me, once you understand the full scope, you'll realize that the Washington Commanders might just be on the verge of pulling off one of the most historic trades in league history. But first, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button now, smash like, and activate the bell. Why? Because what I'm about to unveil is so explosive, so game-changing, that if you blink, you'll miss the most epic NFL chapter of 2026. Those truly inside will be ahead of the curve, and the ones still playing catch-up, well, they'll be left behind in the dust. So don't miss your chance. This is only for the real insiders, the fans who crave the truth behind the headlines, the whispers in the dark, and the moves that nobody saw coming. Now, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you might just be the biggest secret yet. Let's start by peeling back the layers of this enigmatic puzzle. Washington's current state, their desperate search for a franchise-changing weapon, and the stealthy moves that are happening behind closed doors. When I say Washington, folks, I mean a franchise that's been bound by over a decade of near misses, questionable front office decisions, and a defense that's flailed wildly, leaving their fans craving a new direction. After that disastrous 5-12 finish in 2025, quicksand in every phase of the game, their roster is ripe for a seismic shakeup. What's the missing piece? A player who can instantly elevate their offense from a pretender to a contender. And I'm talking about someone who's not just a flash in the pan, but a game-breaking, elite-level talent, the kind of player who shifts the entire power dynamic in the league. Now I've studied their film, I've analyzed their analytics, I've spoken with scouts, insiders, and executives, and what I hear is chilling. It's not just a matter of if, but when this move will go down. Rumors are swirling, whispers in NFL circles are getting louder. The Commanders are in the hunt, not just exploring, but actively negotiating for a player that could turn their franchise around with one splash. And that player is none other than Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers. Yes, I said it, Zay Flowers. The receiver who just had an absolute breakout season in Baltimore, with 1,211 yards and 6 touchdowns. Who the league is raving about as perhaps the most dynamic route runner and yards after catch specialist of his generation. This isn't some solid but unspectacular talent. This is a player who redefines what a modern receiver can do. At just 24 years old, Flowers is entering the prime of his career, and the Ravens, despite their recent playoff ambitions, are not shy about trading away stars if the deal makes sense. And honestly, the fit with Washington, it's almost too perfect to ignore. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of this potential blockbuster trade, I want to make one thing crystal clear. What I'm about to tell you is not just a pipe dream, not just idle speculation. This is grounded in concrete NFL insider intel from sources who have direct lines to both teams' front offices. The Ravens, they're listening. The Commanders, they're ready to pounce. Why now? Because the NFL landscape is shifting faster than ever, and both teams see this as a rare window to make a move that could define their futures. Let me break down just how deep this rabbit hole goes, because what's happening behind the scenes is so intense, so calculated, that it rivals the greatest power plays of NFL history. But first, we need to understand the current state of the Commanders' weaknesses and why a player like Zay Flowers isn't just a luxury. They see him as their salvation. Washington, as we all know, has been marred by offensive inconsistency, especially at the wide receiver position. They spent heavily in 2024 to upgrade their WR core with Jahan Dotson, and they brought in veteran Zach Ertz to stabilize the tight end position. But the truth is, the offense still lacks a true game changer. They have young talent, Dotson, McLaurin, Zachos. Yet none of these players have the legit deep threat or the yards after catch ability that Flowers brings to the table. You look at the numbers, and it's clear Washington's passing attack in 2025 was ranked 22nd in yards per game, and their red zone efficiency was abysmal, finishing near the bottom of the league. What's missing? That explosive playmaker who can create separation at will, who can turn a dump-off into a 70-yard touchdown, who demands respect from defenses and opens up the entire offense. Film study confirms this. Watch the game tape of the 2025 season. Everywhere Flowers lines up, he's a menace. His quickness, that elite acceleration, he gets open on slants, quick outs, even against tight coverage. That ability to create yards after the catch is almost unmatched among receivers his age. His route running is crisp, his footwork deceptive, and his ability to find soft spots in zone coverage makes him a nightmare for defenses. Advanced metrics, expected yards created per target, separation percentage, yards after catch, show that Flowers is among the league's top tier. His catch radius isn't massive, but he compensates with precise route running and elite quickness. Is he perfect? No. His size limits contested catches and scheme dependency is a concern, but trust me, his upside is staggering. And here's the kicker: scouts and NFL analysts are raving behind closed doors. Zay Flowers, in just his third season, has already earned a reputation as a future All-Pro, a true WR1 in the making. Baltimore's coaching staff see him as their primary weapon for years to come, but the league influences are whispering that the Ravens might be open to deals if the right offer lands on their desk. Why? Because Baltimore is in a window. They believe they can contend now, but they also see the massive market value that Flowers commands. And with Lamar Jackson's future still uncertain, negotiations ongoing, gaining draft picks and young assets in return for Flowers could be a masterstroke. So how does the trade mechanism work? Let's get into the details, because this isn't a simple swap of players. The Ravens, holding Flowers on a rookie deal worth just over $14 million through 2026, have leverage. Teams are willing to pay top dollar for a proven, explosive star. Washington. They're willing to part with a package of picks, perhaps a first-rounder this year, maybe a future second or third, and even a young player or two to seal the deal. The salary cap gymnastics are doable. Flowers' rookie deal combined with Washington's cap space means both sides can make the numbers work without much fuss. The key question is, what's the real value? Based on comparable trades for elite young receivers in recent years, think Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams. The compensation might be in the realm of a first-round pick plus a mid-round pick, with additional assets depending on what the Ravens prioritize. And here's the twist. Sources close to the Ravens' front office are indicating a willingness to leverage this deal as a statement. An all-in move for 2026. They want to maximize Lamar Jackson's window, and Flowers is the centerpiece. Meanwhile, Washington sees this as their chance to finally break through the NFC East and become a true playoff contender. They're betting on Flowers, elite athleticism translating into immediate impact. Imagine him aligning with Jaden Daniels, who's already shown flashes of brilliance with his improvisational skills and downfield accuracy. Scheme fit. Perfect. Darrant Jones, the new DC, thrives on creating matchup nightmares, and Flowers' explosiveness would make him the primary target in that identity shift. Projection-wise, the worst-case scenario for Washington is overpaying and Flowers not reaching his full potential due to scheme fit or injury. But the best case, they unlock a weapon who transforms not just the field, but the entire franchise's confidence. Think about it, Washington finally acquiring a true superstar, a guy who can carry them on his back, ignite the fanbase, and dominate defenses across the league. The fan reactions, already deafening. Social media erupts at the thought of Flowers in their colors, memes, hype videos, speculation galore. The NFL world would be turned upside down. Now, what about the timeline? The NFL offseason is a relentless machine. Expect negotiations to heat up over the next few weeks. Initial offers, counteroffers, potential package leaks. My insider sources say a deal could be finalized before free agency kicks off in March. An aggressive timeline, but perfectly plausible given the urgency on both sides. This isn't just a flash-in-the-pan rumor. This is the real deal, an elite-level trade that could set a precedent. So what's the final verdict? In my professional opinion, this move makes perfect sense. Washington is desperate for a spark, and Flowers is that spark, an immediate upgrade, a capstone to their rebuild. Baltimore. They're possibly more open to trading Flowers than many believe. If the price is right, they'll make the move. The league is watching, and the ripple effects. Insane. The Ravens won't just lose a star. They'll be philosophizing about whether they pushed too hard for a championship in 2026 or if they'll regret letting him go. Meanwhile, Washington steps into a new era with a player who could be the cornerstone that finally turns their fortunes around. But here's the most incredible part. The true power play is still lurking beneath the surface. This could be just the beginning. The NFL's biggest clubs are positioning themselves, and the moves aren't over yet. With rising stars, franchise quarterbacks, and front offices that smell blood in the water, what's coming next? Honestly, I can't tell you everything right now, but I can promise what I've shared so far is just the tip of the iceberg. Keep your eyes open, because in the coming days, this trade could become the most talked about, most legendary deal in NFL history. And if you want to stay one step ahead, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, comment, and stay tuned. Because what's coming will shake the league to its core. This is the moment where history is written, and the Commanders are on the brink of making a move that will echo for decades. The question is, are you ready for the truth?